All right, guys, good afternoon. Welcome aboard to the Aftermarket Recap. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thanks for taking the time to join me today and every afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We had a nice video yesterday's edition of the Aftermarket Recap. We had Nick DiGiacomo with me. He's feeling under the weather today. So again, no video with him, but I'll probably do one tomorrow with him. Granted, I don't know his schedule. He may have a class or so. So if he is available, I'll definitely have him at the office with me. Going over the charts and answering some questions. Before we begin, bottom right hand corner of your screen, click on that white logo, turn on notifications, subscribe to our channel, make sure to hit that like button. Really do appreciate it as always. Make sure to comment any kind of questions you may have. We're here to help in any way we can. So let's go ahead and get started. The Dow did close down 448 points today. NASDAQ did manage to get green during the middle of the day, fell 1.32%. The S&P up 1.23%, down 1.23%, 44.56. We'll go over some levels here in a second. The VIX up 2.75%, 23.57. Equal weight S&P did worse than the weighted S&P, down 1.29%. The dollar index was up today, 0.14%. Yields tanked today. So some bond buying, 2.31%, 2.321% on 10-year yields. I did a post on Instagram regarding mortgage rates. A lot of people were commenting their mortgage rates. Some of you guys are really savvy. You got some really good deals on your mortgages. Very well done. And your home purchases. Let's take a look here. Look at high yield credit. That they were down today, 0.32%, but investment grade credit bonds were up today. Let's take a look at crude oil. Nice day today. We talked about crude. Remember, I put that up on Instagram as well. We're long crude. I still have XLE. So it's not like I don't have it, and I'm like, it's kind of strange because it hit the level I was looking for, which is 115.40, yet the best price I got on those premium on those contracts was right around 20%, pretty much 18%. I think that's where I topped out at. I am red on the trade now, right now about 21%. I expect we have a little more of an upshoot. We'll break 115.40. XLE should hit in the morning. Now, again, this is with the understanding that I don't know if we're going to have any Ukrainian-Russian headlines overnight. If that's the case, that's more bullish for oil. A peace deal would make oil go down. Again, that's kind of the risk you have there with in terms of geopolitical headlines. So again, we're kind of right there at that 38.2 Fibonacci level that I set up on the daily chart on the most recent move that we had from the bottom in at least, I think it was on the hourly. No, I think I had it on the hourly. I put it on the hourly on the last 20 days Fibonacci levels. So again, we tapped that 38.2. Let's see if we can kind of get above that. That'd be nice. If we get to 117, we're basically home. But the problem is that I saw that the premiums were not moving as in sync as it usually does in terms of crude oil futures. So kind of looking at the groups in terms of the S&P heat maps. Again, oil had a nice day. Oil was up 4.65% today, nearly 5%. Yet the refiners, CVX is only up 1%, Exxon up 1.5%, COP up 2.56%. So again, you're not getting one for one move per se, but you're not getting that, it's basically getting half of what crude oil futures are moving. So again, that's interesting to see. I want to see what happens with XLE tomorrow and see how we gap. If we gap up or down, again, it just really depends on how the market moves. Looking at the heat map here, the thing that saved the S&P and the NASDAQ from going lower was really Apple. Apple had a hell of a day today, and we did trade that today twice. The target was right here, 172. I even posted that on Twitter about Apple was shooting for the move up. We caught it for this week's 172.50s, and we caught next week's 175. So well done. We had to close out AMD today. We broke down within this channel. It still remained in the same place. We were right here when we closed, basically the bottom. It jumped up in premium and then came back where it was. So again, it's still holding that 100-day moving average on the 1 hour. If it breaks 117.93, I'm going for those 120s. Just way too much volume there. A lot of demand for those contracts. I am expecting AMD to bounce up. Again, oil had a nice day. Gold up today. Silver up today. So again, what you saw today was really yields really fall down. Take the banks with them. Again, you can take a look at XLF. I even tweeted that today as well. You can see it broke down below the 100, but now we're starting to look at some support here at 38.64. So I kind of see banks having a little bit of a turnaround here. GS doesn't have anything sexy to say. There is a gap to fill to the downside at 330. Taking a look at JPM, there is a gap to fill down to 132. Bank of America, there is no gaps there. There is actually one gap to fill at 42.78. Citibank also has a gap to fill to the no gaps to fill in Citi. So again, JPM has something to look for. Goldman Sachs has something to look for more downside. Again, I think Bank of America too, slightly. Would I be a buyer of the banks here? I think I'm starting to get a little closer to where I want to be to buy some more banks, especially add to my JPM and my Goldman Sachs position. But again, let me see if I can get down to around on XLF. Let's see if we can get down to that 37 level here on that gap fill, right around 37.42, and then we should be able to keep going a little higher. If we do fill that gap at 37.42, it's going to take the S&P with it. That should get you around 43.46 on SPX if yields start to really fall down the way it's doing. So again, bond yields falling are important for banks. Again, banks kind of roll with bond yields. Bond yields going up gives you a better profit margin, obviously, when you're lending. The only thing is that I think the market, in terms of financials, are not appreciating the move so swiftly. So again, we did have yields go down, so basically played that role. But there's times where yields have gone up and banks have underperformed. Again, it's all about the sharpness of the move on TNX. A 2%, 1% day, anything above 1.5%, 1% is pretty volatile in terms of the bond market. You just don't have that volatility in fixed income. So that's really the only thing. So again, close that AMD. I was trying to catch a SPY call too, but we tapped that 100. We broke that level, 44.54 on S&P futures. Now we're kind of hugging the 100-day. I salvaged it with that SPY play. It was down like 35%. I could have held for a nice bounce because right here is pretty much a place where I also want to buy on the 100-day moving average on S&P. In terms of buying stocks, really, I'm really looking for 45, 42. And I'm scared that we may reject it. So again, I'm kind of pressing the gas, the brake pedal, and really just trading this market, not investing in it just yet. There's a lot of opportunities. Again, if you're a Tesla shareholder, Apple shareholder, you're a happy camper this week because there was a lot of action. Or even a trader or an owner of GME and AMC because they soared today. All right, thoughts on Nvidia? Let's see the questions and answer session. Let's see, Austin is asking about Nvidia. Let's go and take a look. Nvidia, also right before close, $1.1 million order on AMC 19.5 puts. Wow, there you go. So that might drive it down, let's just say. In terms of Nvidia, again, I love the stock long term. I still own it. Nothing has changed there. In order to trade it, now that's going to be a tough one because now you're kind of at a point where you could start getting back up, retesting this level that you just had, that breakout. So again, 254 could break, and then I'll start taking a look at possible 245 puts on Nvidia, but I wouldn't want to go long here until you start clearing 265, which could happen both ways because Nvidia is starting to get really tied. It's starting to get very heavy on the Qs. Good afternoon. Thoughts on IWM puts? Let's take a look. IWM puts on the hourly, nothing really sexy there. In terms of IWM puts on the daily, yeah, you could target 201 here, sure. You're starting to break down in this channel here. You're just basically getting back in range. We never got a chance to break out above 209 to get to 210. So again, you have a little bit of space here to go start going for the 200 puts or the 201s. Take a look tomorrow. If IWM goes a little more red, then I would start taking a look at those 200 puts for the week next. 201.21 is your target then, because you can see the 200-day is matching up with the daily 50. So that's really your target. IWM is a good short. Again, let's see how tomorrow goes. But again, if we get more weakness, 201 is your target. Afternoon, Carlos, thoughts on puts on SPY tomorrow? SPY, I had SPY calls playing for a gap up. Didn't happen. I expect SPY to bounce tomorrow. If it does not, and it breaks below 441.16, you're going to have to play the 437s. That's your next target down, which is right around here. So again, I would wait for 441.16. You can get it down tomorrow with a gap down, or you can just wait for it to slip further if futures go flat. If we break above 445.26, we're going to probably hit 446.95. So we're kind of in a middle point of that. Still waiting to buy stocks or what way reviews will pull back around July, August. Again, really that key level is around 45, 46. I'm afraid that might be a right shoulder if we follow the 2018 analog of the last time we had Fed hikes. So get running into it. So again, I'm watching that analog very carefully because we may be able to buy stocks even cheaper than currently. That doesn't mean that the bull market doesn't have more legs to the upside. But again, this kind of move so quickly, again, we gained a lot of traction. We could get to that 40 level, then reject to the downside. Or if we break above it, 4,600 is all clear. You can start buying literally, any mega cap stock you want, and it's probably going to be fine. So that's pretty much what I'm looking for. Good afternoon. Thoughts on Apple next week? 175 calls, please. I had those calls. I sold them. I have one runner. I still like Apple to the upside. Again, looks like there is some accumulation. Probably stock buybacks is what I said. If you're looking to add another position on it, break 172.32. That's going to be the level you're looking for. 172.32, you can go on Apple again. I would say that's a perfect entry. That's above the Fibonacci level at 23.6. You'll probably target 175. And that should be money if you go ahead and break that. Let's see. You're very welcome. Thoughts on NIO? What price to open a position? Again, to open a position, you could do it here if you want. Again, you're taking a look. We're near the bottoms of the lows on the yearly here, the daily. A break of 22.99 would be that 50. I think that's a good price to get in if you want to buy some. There's an upward gap at 27. You'll make a little bit of money on that return, but if you're a long-term holder, I think that's a really great price to get into it. Again, especially if you're looking for an EV play, Tesla, notwithstanding, everyone has that. I don't know if everyone has GM or Ford. I don't, but again, NIO, I do own. And then thoughts on AMD. AMD, I'm looking for a break of that 118.48 level right here is what I'm looking for. If that breaks, I'm playing the 120s again, and I'm going to go for more upside. I think we do. Again, we did break down a little bit here. We're still below the 200-day on the daily. That kind of sucks. That seems to be that resistance. We settled 2 candles below that. So we know now that's our target. If we clear the 200-day and we get to 118.48, not only does that break that fib, it also is clear and above about $2.50 or so, maybe $3 more, just a little less than $3 of a move above the 200-day moving average, gives us that 2 breaks. So that's a really bullish signal on an AMD for a trade. You start taking a look at 120s, possibly 125s, but you need 118.48. I just wish we would have caught it this week. We didn't get a chance to. We had to sell it at a loss, unfortunately. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me today and every day. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the morning note. This stuff is always fun to do. Love talking to you guys every single day about the markets. We'd love to have you on board, G.A.R Capital FX.com. Remember, we have that flash sale masterclass. Hit up Kevin, Kev at KevCarCapital.com. That's all one word. At Kev.Gar Capital. There you go. That's where you hit up for masterclass. The flash sale ends tomorrow, which is 20% off. Ask him for details. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at futures open at 6 and see what we get from there. I expect to move a little higher. We'll bounce off that 100 and we'll see where we go from there. And I expect oil to climb up a little higher. So that may be kind of that off difference between equities and oil. They are moving a little bit inverse from each other. Something to think about. We'll catch you guys soon. Later.